Okay, I can't wait to start the day. That's right. Can't wait to start the Monday morning, and the chat room is looking good. And ladies and gentlemen, will you all rise as we welcome... Oh, he's not here. What happened? I can't announce the return of Jeremy Gibbs without Jeremy Gibbs being in his seat. Get in your chair, Jeremy. Good morning, you all, to Greg and Dale and George and Jeremy and Kevin and guests galore. And Andy is here too, and that's how it's going. Nobody's having a better time than me. You scroll up and you can see why. There he is. Jeremy Gibbs is back. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the founding fathers, Jeremy Gibbs from the great state of St. Louis, is here. And that's all. Here we go. There you go. Jeremy Gibbs used to be a catcher for the New York Yankees. Used to play quarterback for Mississippi. No, that's Jake Gibbs. I'm sorry. Got the wrong Gibbs. Unholy Toledo has joined us. Now scroll up and you will see two of my most valuable possessions. We have a Joe DiMaggio autographed picture. And then above that, we've got a Mickey Mantle autograph picture. I have been taking offers due to some unforeseen situations. I'm going to have to get rid of my collection of super duper memorabilia. And these two probably are the top in the collection. Mitchell Horstland is here. I have a picture. How much would you offer? And I give a big discount to the chat room, including Mitchell Horstland. How much would you offer for either a Mickey Mantle or a Joe DiMaggio, okay? Jethro Gibbs, that's right. So, George, how much you offering? And really, I'm going to give it away. But I just want to, just somebody who is really willing to pay for it, okay? Good to see Mitchell Larson in here. By the way, George is coming up at 6:30 tonight. We will have the wonderfully talented Kevin Hastings at 11, and Sergeant Bilko would be here. That's right. Phil Silvers himself. Doberman. What about Doberman? Yeah, remember Doberman? That's pretty good. Bilko was one of my favorite programs, by the way. So, Jeremy, this is what you've missed, right? This is what Jeremy Meckert. Holy cow! We got Meckert in the audience. Good morning to the great Meckert. Nice to see you. Great to have Meckert aboard. Okay, let's get right to the action now. And today we're going to be talking about the Washington Nationals. We'll give you their prospects. We'll give you some of the stuff. But first, interesting stat. Jeff Bagwell finished his career with 449 home runs. Vladimir Guerrero finished his career with 449 home runs. And they're both Hall of Famers. Okay? Barry Bonds finished his career with 449 home runs as well. Off of different pitchers. 449 different pitchers. How about that one for a stat? Bonds, Guerrero, and Bagwell. Guerrero and Bagwell have 449 home runs each in their career. Bonds has hit 449 home runs against different pitchers. How about that one for you? And here's the first trivia question as we get the week rolling, okay? Name me two players with 300 or more runs, 100 or more home runs, and 50 stolen bases over the last 3 seasons. There are only two with 300 runs scored, 100 home runs or more, and 50 or more stolen bases. Only two players in the last 3 years. Can you name them? Okay? That's my question to you. Can you name those 3 players? Okay? Mookie Betts is not one. Mike Trout is one. Mookie Betts is not one. Okay? Good morning to Meckert. Good morning to everybody. Good morning to the fugitive. And away we go. Dale's Chris Gallo has joined us. Southpaw is here. We're having a rock and rolling festival here. Thank you so much. Okay, now, before we get into the other stuff, you got to know about this player. You got outfielder pitcher. He's outfielder pitcher Oscar Colas. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name. Colas. I know I'm pronouncing his name, but am I pronouncing it right? He's one of the best prospects to emerge from Cuba in recent years. He defected, and he will seek a deal with a major league team. He's 21. He played in Japan last year. He hit 302, and he's a left-handed pitcher, and he throws up to 95. So here we go. Another double-edged sword. Oscar Colas. All right, so he played last year. He hails from Cuba. Played last year in Japan. Now he's coming here. Okay, he's 21, left-handed pitcher. As I said, fastball in the mid-90s. He hit 302 last year, okay, for the SoftBank SoftBank Hawks. All right. One scout said that he would likely stick in the outfield. Another scout believes he could pitch and play the field. Either way, he's expected to be a very popular name, so I urge you to do some homework on this fella, Oscar Colas. It's uncertain if he will sign now or wait until July when the international bonus pools reset, and then he'll have more variety of teams to choose from, okay? So there you go, okay? There's name Oscar Colas. I think it's important that you recognize that name. You got that one. Now, for what you've been waiting for, I don't know if you've heard this rumor, and this is why it's good to get into the chat room early. I try to hold off on the good stuff until we're all here. But here's a trade offer that I don't know if you've heard about. Okay? And Andy, remember to give you the answer. Yeah, Lindor. Francisco Lindor. That's one. And the other one was Mike Trout. Okay? So that's pretty good. Mike Trout and Francisco Lindor. Andrea, where do you get this shit from, man? Yeah, Trout and Lindor. Holy mackerel. Andrew's a smart dude. She's a dude, by the way. She's a dude. Yes, I call Andrew the only female dude in the country. Okay? But here, I forget where I was. Where was I? Where am I? What's going on? What's going on? Oh, what's going on? Okay, what's going on is Starlin Castro signs with Washington. Now, the Nats not necessarily, and we'll talk more about the Nationals in a minute, they are not necessarily out on Josh Donaldson. Believe it or not, this is John Heyman says, after signing both Castro and Cabrera, most people would think that they're done, but they are not done on Donaldson. The odds right now is that Atlanta is going to sign. Donaldson has to make a decision pretty soon, okay? He really does. He's got a 4-year deal on the table, 200 and, I don't know how much, but it's still, okay? Now, keep in mind that he wants a 4-year deal worth $110 million or more. Some say that he's got $100 million, so Atlanta, the big favorite. Now, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. If Atlanta doesn't get him, then things really open up because Atlanta is hell-bent on getting a third baseman. They still have $25 million under the luxury tax, so we'll see, okay? So, or it could be that Castro marks the start of a possible plan B for the Nationals if Donaldson signs with another club. So Castro signs for $12 million deal with the Nats, okay? And according to Heyman, the Nationals have not withdrawn their offer to Donaldson, still on the table, okay? So we'll see about that. And the Minnesota Twins supposedly have left the offer for Donaldson. They are backing out. Castro was an average player for the Marlins who played well below average for the first half in 2019. The Marlins constantly tried to trade him. With no other choice, they moved him to third base. They wanted to see Isan Diaz in the big league. Remember this name, Isan Diaz. He's going to be the everyday second baseman for the Miami Marlins. And then Castro woke up. And for 2 months, he was pretty good. And that was it. Okay, so there you go. A couple of other things to talk about, but first I want to tell you about the big trade that is brewing. It is brewing. John Morosi talks about it. The Angels have discussed Mike Clevenger with the Indians, and there's no progress. So this is not hot on the wire, but they are discussing it. And the player that they want back is Joe Adell, okay? And another player. That was the initial ask from Cleveland. Joe Adell and another player for Mike Clevenger. That would tell you for sure that Cleveland's going to trade Lindor. If they're willing to trade Clevenger, and look, Adell's a good prospect. I know Andrea has her opinion. We saw Adell and Brandon Marsh quite a few times in the Arizona Fall League this year. It's great. And I'll tell you, I've heard a lot of guys say, if you want to go to the Arizona Fall League next year with Kevin and Lenny and Andrea and Arnie, I mean, come on, man. We'll have a great time. We'll have a great time. Arnie has joined us. He'll be here right after this podcast. So, hey, Arnie, Jeremy is back. Meckert is back. Weak Southpaw is back. Zelmo is here. I am off my freaking rocker. You know why? Because if you scroll up all the way, you'll see two of my best memorabilia collections that I'm so proud of. A signed Mickey Mantle autographed on a front page, and a signed Joe DiMaggio on a front page, okay? So there you go. If anybody wants it, I will happily sell it to you for the best offer that I get here in the chat room, okay? Best offer. Best offer. In the chat room. I'm not even going to open it up to anybody else. Best offer. I want one of you guys to have it. It's almost in my, it's almost a hand-me-down. Okay, you got that? Anybody who wants it can get it. Now, a couple of other things that you may or may not know about. I'm sure you have. These weekend podcasts at this time loaded with Bull Dinky and Poppycock. As you know, the Giants signed veteran relief pitcher, veteran pitcher, Tyson Ross. He lives out there, signed him to a minor league deal. He'll earn almost, he's got $1.75 million incentives, $1.75 million of guaranteed. If he makes the big league team, he earned almost $6 million last year with the Tigers, but he didn't pitch until after May 10th. He had elbow, neck injuries, and all that stuff. And here's one for you. Here is one for you. Now, etch this in your kitchen table. Somebody that you gotta watch. A favorite of mine. The Colorado Rockies, you may not have heard this, signed Chris Owings to a minor league contract worth $1 million if he makes the team. He spent last year with Kansas City and Boston. Now remember, Chris Owings is not an everyday player, but if you're in an only league, you get Owings. If you really want to speculate and blow your wad on expensive players, and you need a dollar player who will be capable of playing multiple positions and hitting double-figure home runs, I mean, everybody has a use. Every league is different, and Chris Owings will supply some very interesting stuff. Okay, yes, that's right. George cannot, by law. That guy is here. Chloe! Yes, indeed. That guy is here. Good morning. Pretty soon you'll be hearing that guy with Andrea. I can't wait till I hear it. Never mind. But the point is, okay, so love it all the way. Andy's out of the chat room. She's a dude. I'm telling you, she's a dude. I want to see that green light on. There it is. Got to see the green light on. You know I need attention, okay? Now, Will Harris signed. That's a big deal. Will Harris, by the way, was actually better versus left-handers than he was against right-handers last year, okay? So there you go. Will Harris. So the Nationals, and this is going to be a big national podcast, brought more of the band back from their World Series winning roster when they signed Asdrubal Cabrera to a 1-year, $2.5 million deal, okay? Less than 24 hours after they signed Castro. So you would think that the Astros are done on Donaldson, but they're not. So The team seems to be preparing for the possibility that it will not sign him.